Hey, Frank wasn't able to make it today, but it might be a good thing. You know how he can get sometimes.
It's funny you bring that up because last time we did get into it, and Frank was very much the gentleman because he gave me a break because I wasn't really sure how to talk to you guys, and but you set the story straight for me. But anyway, thank you for joining. Can you let everybody that's watching know where are you streaming from today?
We're based out of Tampa, Florida.
Yes,
What
yes.
about you? Where are you based out of?
I am based out of Turku, Finland, which is the southernmost part of Finland.
Oh, all right, all right. Never been there before,
Yeah.
but I'd love to visit someday.
Well, the band is going to have to come here and play some shows because, everybody that watches your band's videos or listens to your music, and we'll get into that in a second because your new music is really, really, really amazing. I
Thank
listen
you,
to
thank
it
you.
and I suggest everybody to listen to it. But you guys, you and Frank, I'm sure anywhere you've played already, you must you must turn heads. I mean, if anything, people have to wonder what's going on at least, and then that'll bring them into what you guys are actually doing, which is playing music.
Oh yeah, yeah. Hey,
So
if I just walk down the street, I'm turning heads. So if we walk into a bar and we're playing a show, people wondering if they're gonna. I've walked into a bar before we're playing a show and somebody came up to me and they're like, "Man, I didn't know if you're about to rock this house down or if you're gonna shoot the place up or something."
yeah,
Luckily, we rocked the place. We kicked ass that night and nobody shot up anything.
no, no. Well, that's good. Hey, so I just want to get right into some questions because, as you know from last time, my partner Hiro, she writes blogs, and the biggest online music publication in Japan
Uh huh.
writes and reviews her blogs, and so this goes out to a big Japanese audience, and I wanted her to specifically come up with some good questions for you because I want to bring suggestion to the masses as best as I can do. I can
I
do
appreciate that.
only so much. I know I can't do much as I would like to do for everybody, but if I can do something, I will do it, and this is what I'm going to do. Is it okay if I ask you a couple questions from Miss
Yeah,
Hiro?
yeah, of course.
Excellent, because with the first question she has is a great one. Please introduce your band and whose idea was it for how the band is presented? I will put it that way because that's a good question.
Well, when it comes to the music, we have a pretty unique sound, in my opinion. It was never like we sat down and were like planning to have a certain sound or to sound that the way we do. We kind of just were playing what we wanted to hear, and what you hear on the EP or on our last album is just us experimenting with certain sounds that we like. It was never planned or anything. It just kind of came to be. And as far as the presentation is concerned, like I said before, we're just going out there being ourselves. We're not trying to go out there and do something fancy. We're just working with the situation that we have been presented with, and we're just making the best of it.
Um, and I love how you say that because for anyone that wasn't watching the last time, now Frank, he's not on here today, unfortunately, but he is the drummer. And Frank is, we're not really, I think from last time, we weren't really sure exactly. We know he's part werewolf, it's some part werewolf possibly, or
Something
is
like
it?
that, yeah.
Yeah. And and also if you go to Suggestions website, which I also suggest to every guy and gal watching this, it kind of gives a little bit back in the day when I read it. I'm not sure if you guys have changed it or not, but you were going through a brief description of like the history, like because you guys are evolved from ancient beings. If am I correct about
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that's what I would think everybody should do because then everybody watching can get an idea because last time Frank was on, I asked Frank something. I said something stupid, like I mentioned to you. I was like, "Where do you get these costumes?" And then got really quiet. You asked Frank to please, sir, Frank, can you leave the room. Frank left the room. Then you let me know that, like, listen, this is how it is. Like, don't insult Frank because this is who he is. And so I would suggest everybody read your website so people can kind of just get an understanding of what we're dealing with in a way.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm not as sensitive as Frank is, but sometimes, like I said before, he gets a little bit emotional, and it might be a good thing that he's not here today. But
Yeah.
yeah, man, I appreciate you understanding where we're coming from. Like I saw that live stream you were doing with Darren Miller, and I really appreciate the way you handled that situation, man. That was really cool for me,
Hey.
especially considering the fact that I was probably the biggest CKY fan in the world back in the day. Like when I was a little simian, I used to be on Ask CKY all the time. Every day I was reading everything that they would post. I
Okay.
actually got really into playing music in the first place because I loved the first two CKY albums so much. It had a big influence on me, not just musically, but in my life in general. So I thought that was really cool the way you handled that situation, and I just got to thank you for that.
Absolutely. And I wouldn't have done it any other way. And of course, if we're ever doing this Monday and you're around and I see that you're in, I'll pull you in. But today, this is all about suggestions. So let's stick to the questions because my next questions from Hero this is great because this is what September 10th, right? September 10th, just released a new EP. Think about sex,
You got
right?
it.
Please tell us about this new EP.
Well, a lot of the subject material that we're covering lyrically involves subjects that the elites are hiding from humanity. And we want to use our music to kind of expose some of these concepts to people that they may be unfamiliar with. Like if you take a look at the song "One Man Enter, Two Men Leave," it's about
Yeah.
MK Ultra, which is I'm pretty sure you know what it is, but it's a CIA mind control experiment that results in split personalities, hence the name "One Man Enter, Two Men Leave." The song "Snakebait" is about the fact that humanity is secretly ruled by an alien species. Let's see. Cut from the Same Cloth has to do with the fact that people have a lot more in common than they realize, and we're always presented with these ideas that force us into these positions of duality. It's like a divide and conquer strategy, and that whole song is just kind of pointing out the fact that we are all in fact cut from the same cloth. And think about sex. That's about a lot of things. There's been a lot of confusion regarding the chorus of that song, but it's really about how most of the institutions and public and private sector have been infiltrated by a satanic cult of lizard men. And one of the things that these lizard men do is they pump our media full of subliminal messages. So that's kind of one way that we have been presenting that idea to people. And it's funny because a lot of people have been really confused about the chorus of that song. They're thinking that it's about like some sexual stuff or something, but really it's about these cults who have taken control over a lot of the things that humanity relies on for their just in their everyday beings.
How long did it take for you to make this EP? And are all the songs on it new, or were some of them older songs?
Some of the songs had been written a while ago. Cut from the Same Cloth is probably the one that we wrote the most recently. We actually did the tracking for those songs probably about a year ago, and we were tracking in the studio. We had an audio engineer who we were working with, and he was having a lot of trouble getting all the sounds right, which is pretty understandable considering the fact that it's a style, our bass is cranked up unlike most metal bands. So he was having a hard time getting the sound right. And after a while, he came over to us. He's like, yo, man, I don't think I can really do this one. So we kind of just took that as an opportunity, and we got in contact with this guy named Ulrich Wild, who mixed the first, let's see, I think he did the first 4 Static X albums. He did the first 3 Death Clock albums, and he liked what we were doing. So he was willing to work on the project, which is really great because easy to work with. He works really fast. He got our sound just sounding really, really strong. And I got to say, I'm really grateful for that because not only am I a big fan of his work, but I'm a really big fan of what he did with our music.
Can I ask you, the one man enter, two man leave, did he mix that?
Yeah, he mixed that one. We actually had that music video posted in 2018 or something, where we had the original mix, which was done by our bassist Malcolm Sex, and it was a good mix, but it wasn't like Ulrich Wild level. So we re-recorded that track for the EP and then overdubbed the audio on the music video, and I'm really happy with the way it turned out because I just love that music video.
Okay, because now this has got nothing to do with Heroes Questions. This is from me. So I of course I went onto your Instagram page and then I did see that video, one man enter, two man leave.
Oh,
I saw clips. Yeah. But what I noticed, and this is my opinion. What I noticed was when I was listening to it, I was like, okay, so Suggestion is going for like they're actually like having like a really good production. Like it sounds really, really good.
Thank you.
And now that you said that to me, it makes sense because you had somebody that like really knows how to mix the songs, and it sounds like really good.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah. So that was definitely one of the things that I noticed when I went to saw the song, and plus, we briefly talked about you were talking about lizard people, and also just like big corporations and the music industry in general, like it's so corrupt at times, or at least there's people that are trying to make us artists do things that they want us to do because that's how they are going to make money, and we are going to just look like fools.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and I hate that.
I do too.
I don't want to do that. Will you tell us how we can get this EP? Maybe it's free by your email, or can we do it with your email?
Oh, yeah. We have a sign-up thing on our website where you can sign up for our email list. When you sign up, you get a copy of that EP sent directly to your inbox. You can also go to Spotify, we're on Apple Music, just about every major platform you can think of.
But I would suggest that if you are really interested in watching, a lot of people watch this now, but what I've noticed is for all of the videos I do, all the live streams, most people watch them one day, 1 week, a month, 3 months later, whatever. So if you're watching this now or you're watching this later, go to their website. And if you're going to go to Spotify, cool, but I would, go do the email thing. It's cooler because then you can have a more personal way to get a hold of the band. And who knows if Instagram goes down or TikTok goes down, at least you'll still be able to get a hold of the band. So I think that's what the email is good for.
Oh, yeah. That's one of the reasons why we do it, because personally, I don't trust these social media platforms. So if I can, if I can build my fan base up without having to rely on them, then I'm in a much better position.
So speaking of one man enter, two man leave, can you tell us just a little bit more? I know we were just talking about it, but can you tell us a little bit more about how that came about?
Are you talking about the music video or the song in general?
No, the music video.
Oh, well, it was really interesting because we had been in contact with with the guy who's playing bass for us now, Malcolm Sex, and we were living in Tallahassee at the time. He lived in New York, and Frank and I had recorded these parts. I did the guitar and I did the vocals. He did the drums, and we had no bass lines for it. And I personally didn't want to do the bass lines for it because I wanted somebody who's better at bass to do that. So we got in contact with him, and he laid down some funky-ass bass lines. He was doing some crazy shit. He's doing, like, tapping solos in the bridge, and it just sounded really sick. So we got back. He got back to us. with those bass lines in the mix, and we loved it. We absolutely loved it. So we were talking to him. We're like, man, we should do a music video for this one. And at that point in time, we hadn't even met him. So we talked, and we decided that we would fly to New York to film this video. And there was a point in time where we were like, we're waiting for him to pick us up, and we're like, man, I hope he actually shows up, because we had never even met this guy before. So he actually picks us up. We met. We got along really well. He's a gentleman who is in a similar position to Frank and I as far as our physical appearance is concerned. So it just worked out really well. We actually had only about 3 days to film that shoot, and we just busted ass and got everything done. And the music video turned out really good. We also had a really good guy who edited the video. He also did a lot of the shooting. And his name was John McCarthy. Cool ass dude. Really talented too. I love the way that he filmed and edited everything. He did a really good job with it. And like I said before, we had like 3 days to get all of it done. And we did. We busted ass. We had a bunch of people helping us. People who I didn't even know. And it just worked out really well, man. I gotta say, I'm so happy with the way that video turned out. I want to do more music videos for the rest of our EP, because if we were able to crank that out in such a short amount of time with the new material that we have, we can bang out some really good shit.
And you never know. I mean, maybe people that have been watching the videos or fans of your band could even, sometimes I know even with bands that I play in. I mean, if there's bands that are really interested in helping out, then it's always good to get help from within the team. So
I
maybe
agree.
People that are watching might be interested in. Okay, so what about the gigs? Here I wanted to just ask about like what's going on with the gigs with you guys. I think last time I think we were like heavy COVID issues when we talked last.
Yeah.
But what about now? What's going on now?
We actually have not been playing gigs lately.
Okay.
In fact, our bassist Malcolm Sex, he was out in Vietnam when all the lockdown stuff started, and he's actually still out there. So we're working on building up a big social media fan base so we can build up a demand. So when we start playing shows, we'll have a crowd out when we actually start playing. So we kind of are working on the social media aspect of everything right now and music video side of things, so that we can actually convince this guy to come out here to Florida.
Hiro, I'm just reading the questions here. Sorry. Hiro said, okay, she wants to know what your future plans are and what your dream would be for the band. That's a tough one.
My future plans and my dream for the band. Well, let's see. I would really like for people to not just really dig the music, but I really want people to understand where I'm coming from lyrically with all the stuff that I'm talking about, because there's some subjects I'm covering that are very, very controversial. And I believe that if people could understand these lyrics from my point of view, you could almost like change the way that people see things. And, a lot of the stuff I'm talking about might seem kind of crazy, but I mean, when you live in a society that's confronted with so much psychological manipulation day in, day out, when you present the truth to people who have been presented with that, it seems crazy.
People in the chats are saying King Kong. People in the chats are saying Death Funk Forever.
Oh,
Death Funk.
Death Funk
What's
Forever.
Death Funk?
I saw that one.
Yeah, is that you? Is that you guys?
Actually came up with that term, Death Funk. It was the first time we posted the old version of One Man Enter that I was talking about, and somebody was like, yo, this is some straight up Death Funk right here, and we just loved the term, so we kind of just stuck with it.
Yeah, I think that's actually, I think you guys are really, you should definitely, that's very original. I have to say, when I just read that, I was like, Death Funk, that's like brilliant. So, and anybody that's watching right now, if you want to ask any questions, feel free to type some stuff up in the chats. There's somebody said something earlier about talking to Frank about some song, the Booper Boppers or something, or I don't know. It was so far back, and there's so many people that were jumping in and out of the stream. I can't scroll through them all, but yeah, feel free to write something in the chats. So what do you think is going to be happening? What can we be expecting from you? In the near future, like maybe by for the rest of the year. That's pretty close. The year's almost over. Just a couple more months.
That's a good question. One thing that we have planned is we want to re-record some of the stuff that we put out on our first album, only because we got some really good material that we released, but the production quality that we're working with now, as far as getting a guy like Ulrich Wild to mix our stuff is concerned, some of that stuff, some of the older stuff, I just feel never really got the love that it deserved. And we might be re-recording some of that stuff. We've also got some new material we're working with. We might release another EP. If not, we'll be just releasing singles from here on out.
We have some very talented artists watching the stream right now. One of them, Courtney Nord, otherwise known as Daughter of the Water, and she wanted to know, do you think you will do another Cribs episode?
I'm actually looking really forward to doing another episode of MTV Cribs. The last time that was done was when I lived in Tallahassee. I was living in a shed. I was living in a very unfortunate circumstance. And, I said, fuck it. Let's get MTV in here. We'll do the whole shebang. Even though I was living in a shed, I didn't really care. We still had a good time with it. And, I see everybody's liking that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm definitely down to do a new version of MTV Cribs. My new situation is much better than it was at the time that I was living in a shed. So, definitely. I'm definitely down to do something like that.
You gotta. I mean, whatever the people want. I mean, it's great to give them some more, and it's super cool that they got into that, because that could turn into a whole thing. What's the King Kong reference? Are they just teasing you or what?
I've been hearing that one ever since I was a little tyke, so it really doesn't get to me anymore. But I don't know. Maybe it's just a mispronunciation of King Bong, King Kong. I'm really not too sure.
Okay.
Another thing that we might be doing this year is another Suggestion Chronicle. The Suggestion Chronicles was a almost like a documentary of some of the struggles that I was experiencing during my time living in a shed in Tallahassee. You check out my interview with Elijah Wood on that. It's a whole story, man. It was a good time, but we might be doing another Suggestion Chronicle coming up. So keep your eyes open for that one.
And again, my correction, it was King Bong, which makes way more sense. King Bong is very cool. That's like kind of like a maybe is that like a stage name, or is that just what the fans have been just coming up with a nickname?
Oh, that's my birth name.
That's your birth name. Okay, I apologize. I should have done my research. I didn't understand. I didn't know that.
It's all right, man. I'm used to it by now.
And we have some more bands joining. So everybody, it's great to see. There's actually a lot of people starting to flood into the stream. We have Suggestion. We have King Bong. We have King Bong here we're speaking with, and Frank the drummer, we'll say, is he's unable to make it today, unfortunately. But like you said, maybe it's a good thing, because sometimes he might have a bit of a temper. It depends on what mood he's in. So it maybe, we don't know. But I liked having him last time, to be honest. I thought
man. Cool. He's a great guy. His emotional state is very, it fluctuates greatly depending on what the subject is that we're talking about. So it might be a good idea that he's not here today.
Yeah, but your band always brings good energy, good vibes, because like you said, you're battling through the fact that your band is these you're beings from ancient times in some ways, and I know that I'm not getting it all right, but it's almost like, if for people that feel like they're discriminated against, your band is got to be the epitome of of feeling like you're discriminated against all of society because you're not
Oh yeah.
really human, to be blunt. And you have to face society through your through your eyes. And I don't know how is that been challenging for your band, or do you think society, like I said, the people here in the streams love it. So this community has got the love for your band, but outside of this community, for people that maybe aren't familiar with your band or familiar with your ancestry and your bringing ups and all that stuff, how is that going through life and other struggles for your band to deal with?
It was difficult at first. Like, I walk into a restaurant with my band, and as soon as we walk in, people start walking out. It's very difficult sometimes. I used to be very sensitive, but these experiences have really strengthened my soul. So I kind of look at it as a good thing.
Okay.
I can see if it was another person having to deal with this, though, I could see it being very difficult. That's one of the reasons, though, that we got into playing metal, because the metal community has been extremely welcoming, especially considering our physical appearances. It's been a beautiful thing. First I was trying to do like a country thing, and I'd go out there with my acoustic guitar and I'd be like, I'll show you my fucking dick. I'll show you my fucking dick. And they just didn't get it. But when I started doing it to the metal community, oh man, they went crazy. They loved it. So just put it all together with the way that I look, and it was just it was just a heartwarming experience.
Because I'm trying to think of an analogy that would come close to it, and I really can't. It's almost like saying, like, Nickelback or Justin Bieber opening up at a Mushroom Head concert. Like, those people would boo them off a stage, most likely. But
Oh, yeah.
I think with you, if you're not familiar with the band, like, other than the metal community, I think maybe your band would even possibly have a harder time for people to accept the fact that what's going on is real. So I'm just thinking that it could be very difficult, and I commend you and Frank and the whole band for sticking in there and trying to like make people, human beings, come to an understanding that we can work together with other beings.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I'm just happy to be a part of it ever since I invited you onto the stream the last time, and that's why we've been keeping in touch, of course. And I would love to have you come on. Hopefully, I'll be doing a streaming for. We'll see who's next. I mean, I've been working with Chaos, and I was working with Rocky, but things change, right? And people change. So maybe I'll be doing this again on another platform. And if it's a bigger platform that can open up your audience, I would love to bring you to there so we can invite you onto some new audience people and really, try to spread the word of suggestion. Go to the website, read the story about the band, everybody that's watching. Very, very, very happy to have you on. Is there anything you want to say? Maybe we should start wrapping up the stream, but is there anything that you want to tell everybody before we go?
All I gotta say is, if you're trying to find something new, something fresh, you're into good music, particularly metal, go ahead and check out our website, or you can just go to our Instagram. We've got a link on there for our EP, which we just released on September 10th. I gotta admit, I listen to it all the time. I go to the gym, I'm listening to it, and I've heard these songs over and over and over. I still love this shit, and if I feel that way about it, I'm sure you will too. Let's see, Nick Bassman69 just said, "Die by My Spade." I love that track, man. That is one of my personal favorites. I really like all of them. I really like all of the tracks, and if you're looking for something new, something fresh, just give it a shot. You'll probably really like it. Check out the One Man Enter video. It kicks ass.
Well, you're absolutely correct. I mean, and I think a lot of people here, they know that I talk to hundreds, literally, I've talked to hundreds of bands, and every band they bring something to the table, but your band specifically, you are 100% right. If you want something different, if you really want to get into something, that's what I mean. A lot of bands aren't saying go to our website, go to our emailing, we'll email you our album. But your band is so complex in how you deal with your followers that you do. You bring them into your community. You bring them into your history. And I think if there's anybody that's looking to just get excited about like a band and get into it, definitely check out this band. Go and follow them on Instagram, follow them on their website, and one other thing, because you said when you go to the gym, like people have to understand like everyday things, like going to the gym or going to the supermarket. People must give you, like, I don't know how you do it. I really don't know how you do it, but you're I don't know, you have very good nerves maybe, or you're just trying to show all of humanity that we can get along. I don't know how you feel about that, but I commend you on that, because that's
really
amazing.
Appreciate it, man. Another thing that I would like to say is that we're doing our best to keep everything organic and fresh. We're really doing our best to avoid record labels or any third parties trying to really impose anything on us, especially as far as our music is concerned. Because you turn on the radio and it's all a bunch of boardroom rock, and we are just so tired of all that shit. We're so, it's just not cool. So we're doing everything we can in order to try and avoid anything like that. We want to keep it fresh. We want to keep it badass like we have been doing. So our approach really, a big part of our approach involves avoiding all of that. So if you're trying to find something that's fresh and actually, we don't have a bunch of businessmen telling us what to play, how to play, what to write about, how to stand, how to do anything. So if that's the kind of thing that you're looking for, then Suggestion you're probably going to really like Suggestion.
And I agree with you. I think the thing is, it looks like NYOKY Altonen sent a request to be in the live stream. I don't know if you want to try to bring on somebody as a guest before we end. It's up to you. We can, but
who is it?
Not really sure who that is. But okay, I wanted
let's bring him in. Let's see who it is.
Okay, let's see who it is. And then I'll say what I was going to say. But let's see if that person is still here now. I don't see them, so maybe they got scared. They might have got scared, King Bong.
Hey, I'm used to it.
Yeah, they're not here anymore. They got scared. So what I was going to say, if you want to come onto the stream, NY, please send in another request, and I will certainly bring you on board. What I was going to say is, just because you said something about the boardroom rock, and just because you want to be, and I feel the same way, we can be against the boardroom rock, but it doesn't mean that our music still isn't going to be good, because very good example is your new songs with the guy that mixed it and the way you guys play. It's really, really good music, everybody, but it's not corporate. It's not corporate. They just know how to make good music. It doesn't mean that they have to, it doesn't mean that if you do boardroom music that it's all going to be the same, and people that don't do boardroom music can't make good music. No. They don't do boardroom music. They just make good music, and they don't want anything to do with the boardroom. That's what it is.
Thank you for clearing that up.
Yeah, I think it's very important, because it's a misconception. People think, well, if you're not on a record label and you don't have the boardmen giving you the money to do all the stuff, how's the music going to be good? Well, it's very simple. Very good players, very good energy, very good passion equals good music, a cool band. Suggestion right here. We love having you guys on. I mean, come on, this has been amazing. I'm sorry that the gentleman didn't want to come in. We tried to bring him in. If anybody, here's one more thing we will do. If anybody is willing or daring enough, come on as a guest. If you can behave. Remember, King Bong is being nice, but you can't push him. I wouldn't suggest that, especially if Frank gets wind of it. Just forget it.
Yeah, that's a good point. So, if anybody wants to join in with us, be my guest.
Yeah, seriously. And we'll give that a second. But like I said, I think it's really commendable for you to to really try to bring humanity together. I've said it many times, but I just it's hard for me to understand what it's like in Florida when you're in Tallahassee, just doing every post office, gas station. I mean, think about it, everybody. Like everyday things, they're doing this with humans in society, and they're putting up with a lot of crap, I'm sure, but they're also spreading a lot of love. So we have to appreciate the band. We have to appreciate the
I
band.
appreciate it.
But I think people might be a little frightened. It's Halloween time. I don't know if that's why they're frightened, but they shouldn't be. This isn't Halloween. This is everyday thing. So maybe we will end it here because I don't think there's any brave souls. I'm surprised there isn't one brave soul that would want to come on and just say hi. Anyone. You know, if I'm able to do it, I know you can do it.
It's all right, man. Some people are a little bashful. It's understandable.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we appreciate everybody that's here because there are lots of people. Actually, a lot of. I hate to go because there's a lot more people coming in, but you know, I don't want to just keep pushing the stream. I think we went through everything, and it's just great to see everybody here. And please go check out the name is Frank. It's not Wolfman. The name is Frank Farsi. It's not the Wolfman drummer. Some people, like I said, you have to understand. You gotta give them a little bit of respect because they're doing the same back to us. So just don't disrespect these guys. You know, especially here. We're all family. All right.
It's all right, man. Frank's not here right now, so we don't need to worry about that too much.
Okay. I don't want to start any trouble. You know. Okay, he said, Frank, sorry. Okay, you got it, Farsi.
There we go. That's more like it.
He's good. All right, hey, excellent stream today, man. This was awesome, and I really can't wait to hear what you guys have coming up next, and I will be following your band, and of course, if there's anything that you need to pop in, do another stream for whatever reason, if you got some news or something, you know, we're all here. We would love to have you back, of course.
I appreciate it, Matthew. It's always a pleasure.
Yes, sir. So I normally say at the end of every stream, I will see you on the next stream. Rock and roll. Say bye-bye.
You got it. Peace out, man. I'll talk to you later.